I gotta say, you guys have submitted a ton of great airsoft kits over on the Baby Warrior Discord server, so let's get into roasting. If you've watched Roast My Kit before, you know that I really like old school kit, and Big Ounce has something that I think is awesome. And what I love about this is it's old gear that's still just as effective as modern day stuff. It might not be as comfortable, but he's got everything that he needs to play airsoft. So we've got the old school woodland vest on top of DCU, which is just an iconic look. And then he's got the old school, I think that's all Alice gear on the belt. I'm not sure what the belt itself is, admittedly, but this is super cool. I think that these loadouts, again, just kind of show a historical time that isn't really shown a lot in modern media. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff is just super high speed nowadays, but this stuff would still work plenty fine for airsoft, and I think that it looks super cool. It has a lot of character, and again, you know, like in a sea of multicam, this is just a really cool tan-based camo kit that I really enjoy. Like, I gotta say, this is incredible. Famine is submitting a kit that just makes me want to say rate my band, and while this isn't my particular cup of tea, I wanted to include it because I realized that I don't represent what everybody enjoys, and well, we haven't had a Speedsoft kit on the channel in a while. So taking a look at it, again, I'm not super familiar with what we've got here, but one of the things that's always struck out to me about Speedsoft kit is the fact that it's about efficiency, and this looks pretty efficient. I'm really lightweight with this rifle here, until we get to this setup, and I just have questions, because this isn't the way that I play airsoft. You know, I get the advantage of having the flashlight on the top of your rail right there, but what about aiming? Is it just a common thing to just like trace your BBs when you're doing Speedsoft? Like, you know, I'm gonna assume that is a tracer unit on the end of your rifle. Is this the meta? You know, just getting up and quickly putting down some shots and tracking your BBs versus using, you know, iron sights or a red dot. You know, overall, again, while I don't know too much about these kits, I mean, they look solid, they look efficient as I go through them right here. Like, this looks perfectly fine and like everything that you would need for indoor airsoft. You know, I'd be curious to see what the backpack is on there, like how big is that, because that creates a big silhouette on your back, and it also doesn't look to be the most comfortable thing, but if you're running HPA with a setup that uses a tank, well, you know, you kind of got to do that. But, you know, like, again, I go back to, like, this is so foreign for me. Is this what players are doing, or is this something that this player specifically is doing? But if you are a Speedsofter and you're watching this video, or this is just the type of kit that you enjoy, make sure to let me know with a comment. Brodus, who is a channel member and a frequent contributor to Roast My Kit, has a kit that I really like because it's something that I attempted to do years ago. So as we are taking a look at this, it is essentially a Cry AC uniform with a Fort Defender and a JTAG Mark II on top. And these pictures are a little bit hard to see because it's at night, but I have a weird soft spot in my heart for this kit because I tried it out. Unfortunately, the Fort Defender is an incredibly bulky plate carrier. They're kind of a pain, just because they are so large and they go so wide into your shoulders. If you're used to a JPC or a 6094 or a Spiritus carrier, this is completely different. But this is, you know, a nice, like, a high-speed rust floor kit. It's a little hard to see the gun because these are nighttime photos, but this is the sort of thing that I really enjoyed. It's something that I respect because, you know, it's an impression, but it's not a very comfortable one to wear on the field. A username that I'm just not going to say has a kit that, you know, like, you can hate on it, but I think he's got the fundamentals down, you know, like taking a look at it right here. Like, obviously this looks like it's a little bit more affordable for a newer player, but honestly, he's got pretty much everything that he needs that you'd see in a much more expensive kit. So he's got the priorities right up front. He's got his admin panel, and he's got what looks like the ability to carry 6, maybe 3 magazines, but if you're playing a shorter game, I guess that doesn't really matter. You know, he's got the dangler, like the groin protector with a little pouch on there that I can't quite tell what it is. If it was a general purpose pouch, I'd move it up here because that's going to be swaying around as you run and it's going to be hitting somewhere. And he's got a well, it looks like a mid-level drop leg. If that is a full drop leg, I'd recommend getting rid of that because it's just uncomfortable. But, you know, like, I really, again, it's not my thing. It's probably not the best gear out there, but at least it's set up properly. Like, that's half the battle. I've seen people in, you know, $250 Cry JPCs who don't know how to weave molly correctly, and their backpack's basically about to fall off of their plate bag. So, like, you know, if you can only afford certain things or like you're a newer airsofter, setting things up correctly I think is just as important. Same thing with the rifle. You know, he's got a sling, which looks like that could be improved, but he's got an optic, he's got a flashlight on there, he's got the bare necessities that he needs, so like I really, I can't hate on it. CK16 has a really cool kit because it's from Ghost Recon Future Soldiers, inspired by that game that came out all the way back in like 2012 or so it's probably as old as some of the people watching this video. But taking a look at what we got, I gotta say this does look pretty good and accurate to the game. What I love about it is it's from that era where the Masada or the ACR was super cool, and you've still got it with you here. He's got the 3D printed chest plate, which I think is pretty cool. However, I wonder how actually efficient this is using it for airsoft, because you lose those like center mags right here. But continuing to look at it, like I think it looks pretty cool. It looks like what you'd see from the video game, especially with the big old shoulder pads that are on there. And now that we've got it laid out on the ground, again, I just, you know, like I appreciate that you went all out. You couldn't see this in the previous photos, and I just have to laugh at it. The sideways, those aren't tacos, those are like the G-code Kydex tacos. I forgot what they actually call them. That are the horizontal, that's where all your mags are. And like, yes, this is true to the game, but like, man, what is it like to play airsoft with this? Like, this is just wild to me. I've also never seen this ATAX pattern with AOR2 before. I don't remember if it's in the game, but oh my god, what a... Like, again, I'm going to say, I like this kit. What an ugly combo of patterns. But this is just fun. You know, like, this isn't min-maxing airsoft. This is just enjoying it the way that you want to enjoying it and buying what you want to buy. I think the ACR is sick, and, you know, this is pretty cool. He's even got the patch for the game as well. So I like this a lot. Up next, we got Gambor Airsoft, who has what I looks like to be a MARSOC-inspired kit. And you got to say, with a Mark 18... with a JPC, you know, you really can't go wrong with any of this. I love seeing the Endem, I believe that is, fanny pack as well. This is really cool. The one thing that I'll say, what is that thing on your back? Is that like a sitting mat? Like, I've seen a lot of those in like Rust 4 kits, like I have one in Spectre, but I've never seen it in M81, and I've never seen one that's like a perfect square. Like, usually they're a rectangle. I mean, this looks like your solid, you know, early 2000s MARSOC thing. The one thing I will say is that giant general purpose pouch you have on the side being right above the mags, that's going to be a pain to get to them. If you can move it up one row on your cummerbund, that might make it a little bit easier. But overall, yeah, I think like if that's the mark that you're going for with this, you've definitely hit it. I do just want to take a quick moment to say thank you to our channel members who help make the BB Warrior and Roast My Kit possible. It's because of them that I'm able to travel to games, you know, be able to go out and meet all of you on the field, and have the time to make these videos. If you want to become a channel member yourself, there's some really cool perks like exclusive videos here on the BB Warrior, a guaranteed spot in Roast My Kit, and even more, like being able to watch videos early. So if you want to learn more about becoming a channel member, there's information down in the description below. But let's get back into roasting even more kits. City Night has something that I think is pretty cool, because we've already had a video game themed kit. We've got this one here, which is inspired by Rainbow Six Siege, which is a video game that I used to love. I was just talking with a friend, I remember like, even before COVID, you know, spending hours a day playing Rainbow Six Siege, and now I know that if I play a game that's stressful, I'm going to lose even more hair than I already have. So getting into the loadout, you know, this is, oh god, is that Bandit, I think it is, from the game? If I get it wrong, I know a million people are going to let me know down below, but like, not only is the photography on point, but the kit is sick. And you know, I love that setup on the Tokyo Marui Next Gen Recoil Shock. That's a MP5A4 right here. Like, this is just really, really cool. Again, I don't know how practical it is for airsoft, but you know, in terms of like the cosplay side of things, like this is super cool. And now that we can see it in the daylight, like again, running around in tennis shoes and jeans probably isn't going to be the best thing out there, but like, I think that this is absolutely sick. You know, this is probably a joke, but I feel like I should include it. So this one comes from Dread, and he calls it Can Man, made from over 30 cans of varying types, of many being Monster Original and Monster Purple. It consists of cardboard, hot glue, and rope to make this monstrosity of tetanus and sweat. And you know, like, I just want to know why. Like, what inspired you to do this? You know, like, oh man, you know, like I don't even want to acknowledge that this could be an acceptable kit. So we're gonna do a little bit of roasting. What's behind him? Pepperoni. You know, you've got a dog, and you didn't even show the dog in your submission. Like that would have got you a better roasting. But you know, like at least I hope that there's eye protection under there. But this is again, why? Why did you do this? And we got Famine again with another kit, and this is again another Speed Soft kit, and this is a little bit more my speed than what we saw from him earlier. And I gotta say, like, you know, I think that this is solid, if this is all you need. He's got the 3 mags, you know, I think, you know, I don't see any on the cummerbund as well, so that might be not enough, but again, I'm not super familiar with the Speed Could Be rule set. And then he just got the backpack for his air tank, I assume. The one thing I would suggest with this is getting a weighted front plate, because your HPA tank is pulling it up and it's getting into your neck. So even if you just have like a 2-pound plate, that's going to help even things out so that it's not tugging at you. It's going to be more comfortable, and it's also going to make it a little bit easier to access your mags. But again, like, I can't find anything wrong with this. Even though it's not my flavor, I think this is pretty good. And this one has an optic on it as well. So I like this. I can't be mad. Bread Cola has something that may have won the episode. You know, I love old school kit. I love rare old school stuff as well. He's got some 90s Navy SEAL kits. And the thing that I really like about this is that it's not just him. He's got friends that are doing it as well. Now, if you've ever tried to do this sort of kit, it's hard to find. Especially like looking at stuff like that old school aim point that he's got on the M4. That's the only piece of kit that I really recognize. But this stuff's hard to find. It's hard to do right. And this looks incredible. You know, like, one, MP5s are just such a vibe. The dude there has got what looks to be a 10mm MP5 as well, which is great. Like, this is just awesome. And it looks like they're on old school cameras as well. Like, I wish I knew more about this. I wish that I had the ability, like if I could do whatever I wanted on YouTube, it would be solely like diving into stuff like this, because I feel like, you know, like, one, is just cool airsoft kit, but two, like, we need to preserve it in a way, like all of this old school gear, because otherwise it's just gonna get lost to time. That'd be my dream one day once I make it big. But yeah, like, this is just incredible. You know, like, 10 out of 10 right here. Like, is that a spray painted uniform? Like the more I'm looking at this, like, it's just incredible. This is the sort of thing that you don't see very often. Like, this wins the episode for me. Bonsai has a kit that makes me question what's going on. So taking a look at it, we've got a saw, and you know, like, that all makes sense. But then it's the 40mm rounds underneath that make me question what's going on here. It's not even a saw. It is a stoner, with the box mag conversion and a cut down barrel. But I don't see a 40mm launcher anywhere. Like, I see the pistol mag pouches, I see an EPM1, but on both of these, I don't see a launcher. And my thought is that whatever's on his left-hand shoulder is going to be his pistol because of the magazines. So the launcher rounds are a little curious to me. You know, I just don't see what they're for. But otherwise, you know, like, the gun is cool. You know, like, I'd like to do that conversion to my stoner to run it off of box magazines. But yeah, you know, it just kind of leaves me with more questions than answers. Thank you all so much for watching today. I feel like this was a pretty nice episode of Roast My Kit, so we're going to have to go a little bit harder with the roasting in the next video. Again, a big thank you for watching these videos. You know, these take a lot of work to do compared to the videos that I normally make on the Baby Warrior, so I appreciate you sticking around until the end. That's going to do it for today's video, though. If you want to check out more Roast My Kit, you can click right up here, or for another video that YouTube thinks you might like, you can click over here. My name is Lane, and I'll see you all next time.